Greetings, America, from Mr. Sports Travel. Welcome to the great state of Pennsylvania. If you read the caption, that's what this video is about. But where is Mr. Sports Travel? The answer in a moment. But first, I am on the road because I turned 50 this year. And to mark this special occasion, I am going to see a sporting event in each of the 50 states plus the District of Columbia. I've been sports traveling for more than 25 years, put all my money in rental properties, no kids, never married. That's how I do it. Now, the most important thing about my road trips is helping our service members, our vets, our first responders, and their families. How do I do that? This moving billboard behind you, my car, a kick-ass 2012 Ford Fusion, where I'm raising awareness of OperationFirstResponse.org. That's OperationFirstResponse.org. 4-star rating from Charity Navigator. And I want you to take the $50 pledge if you've not done so already. If you have, thank you so much. In exchange for $50, I will meet you in person, live in the flesh, and or over the video, and or over the phone, and or via email, and help you plan your sports road trip. Now, if you're not a sports inclined person, then I'll help a friend of yours plan a sports road trip. And that's what I will do for you donating $50. These $50 will help our service members, vets, first responders, and their families. Doesn't go to me. I don't need the $50. I've done pretty well. I 100% self-fund my road trips. Like I said, Mr. Sports Travel is doing okay. We need to take care of our vets. I would greatly appreciate it if you would donate $50 to OperationFirstResponse.org. As many of you know, my late father, who got me into sports travel, was in the Air Force. Dad, rest in peace. I'm sure he would be very grateful for your donation. Now, where is Mr. Sports Travel in the great state of Pennsylvania? I'm going to be silent for a minute to see if you hear anything. Perhaps you hear the wind. And that's about it, ladies and gentlemen. There's some videos I've done of different states where I'm in a very urban setting. You'll hear cars, people walking around. You have a better chance to see the leaf blower. I'm in the middle of nowhere, but it's because there's no games going on tonight. This is the athletic complex at Lehigh University in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. And you may be saying to yourself, Joe, why aren't you in Philadelphia or Pittsburgh? Big sports cities. Well, it's my video. I can be wherever I want to be. But I chose this location for a specific purpose because at this location, every other year in November is the greatest football rivalry and the most historic football rivalry in the great state of Pennsylvania. No, it's not Penn State against Pitt. That's not a rivalry, okay? This is the rivalry. Lehigh, here in Bethlehem, against Lafayette College, which is about 10 minutes from here in Easton, PA. I'll let you Google the details, but the gist is these guys have been hooking horns every year for more than 100 years in football. Big, intense rivalry, the biggest football rivalry in Pennsylvania. And of course, when you think about Pennsylvania, you think about football. As an example, they really shouldn't be called the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're the Western Pennsylvania Steelers, not just in the city of Pittsburgh, right? So football is the sport in Pennsylvania. And when I was thinking about where should I shoot this video, I thought, let's educate the viewers. They may not be aware of the Lehigh-Lafayette rivalry. Maybe they are if they're hardcore football fans, but they might not be. Everybody's heard of the Steelers and the Eagles and all that stuff. So I'm in Bethlehem, PA, Lehigh football stadium called Goodman Stadium. You can see the mountain view there. You can see the signage in the press box. Over here you can see the scoreboard. Obviously no activities going on today. It's quieter than a church mouse here right now. Very quiet. Now, with each of these videos, I share with you my first ever sporting event in the state, my most recent sporting event in the state, and my favorite sporting event in the state. So we're going to do that right now. My first sporting event in the state of Pennsylvania was actually when I went off to college to gain a little knowledge and learn how to score, as Jimmy Buffett would say in Pencil Thin Mustache, or sang, I should say. I went to Elizabethtown College in Elizabethtown, PA, my freshman year. And hello, Spanky, Kenny, and my E-Town friends for watching this video. That's where I saw my first sporting events in Pennsylvania. I was a college student. But I did more than just saw the events. I covered the events. In fact, on this very YouTube channel, you can see Mr. Sports Travel as a ambitious 19-year-old broadcast reporter for Elizabethtown College Television. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Sports Travel was your hard at work freshman television reporter covering Elizabethtown soccer, Elizabethtown basketball, I'm talking about the college, and other sporting events that the college had. But he also covered high school football, because football is king in the great state of Pennsylvania. So I covered Elizabethtown high school football. And I preserved, by the magic of the VHS tape, I have on my YouTube channel, you can see a handsome, charming 19-year-old Mr. Sports Travel, his news clips from when he was 19 years old. They won't be winning any Emmy Awards anytime soon. You can see I was still learning editing, still learning photography, but you can see the ambition was there and the love of sports was there. That love of sports has never gone away. So my first sporting event in the great state of Pennsylvania, I was in college. I wasn't even legal in terms of drinking, although we did have a few beers. Didn't we, Kenny and Spanky, my friends from college? So that was my first, Elizabethtown College in Pennsylvania. Now, my first professional sporting event in the great state of Pennsylvania was at the old Hershey Park Arena, which is still there, by the way. Saw a minor league hockey game, the Hershey Bears. They built a new arena next door, but the old arena is still there. If you've ever seen a hockey game there, I highly recommend it. It's very nostalgic, very old school. In fact, on my last trip, last year, 2021, I went back to see a hockey game, an amateur hockey game, the Hershey Bears. Hershey Cubs. Hershey Bears are the minor league team. Hershey Cubs are like a junior team. So the Hershey Cubs I saw play in 2021. And it was great to go back to that arena. I had not seen a game there since I was in college in 91, 92. And next to these two hockey rinks, the old one and the new one, is the football stadium. And I saw it was going on that night. So I saw some high school football and I saw some Hershey Cubs hockey. So it was a fun Friday night. That was in October 2021. So that was my first professional experience back in 91, 92 at the old Hershey Park Arena, which is still there. Now, most recent sporting event for Mr. Sports Travel. How about last night? I saw the Harrisburg Heat take on the Florida Tropics in a soccer game in Harrisburg. Listen, there's a person. Hear the footsteps? He's running. I promise you, he's behind the camera. He's being very respectful. He didn't yell at me, go, bacon! So there is one other person on this, I think this has got to be like 5 to 10 acre complex. Besides me, one other person, he's running. So, back to where I was at. Harrisburg Heat. That was my most recent event last night on this road trip, the 2022 trip. Saw them play the Florida Tropics, and they play at the Equine Arena. Yes, they play in a horse arena. I'll try to put the picture on my Facebook, but it's basically at the Agricultural Center in Harrisburg, within one of the smaller arenas, and the Tropics won by a goal. They scored very late in the game. It was a good game. Favorite Pennsylvania memory. This one's going to be tough because I have seen baseball, basketball, and football and hockey at all the Division Ones. And there's tons of colleges here, right? And then I've been to all the pro teams in Philly and Pittsburgh. So this is going to be a tough one. But I think clearly my favorite sporting event in more than 25 years of road tripping through here, the great state of Pennsylvania, I'm going to set this up, was December 2018, and it was at the Palestra. The Palestra is probably the Carnegie Hall of college basketball. If you've never been to the Palestra, try to go see a Big Five game, which is one of the city teams duking it out. And that's what I saw that night. So I'm going to set this up. So Villanova had just won the national championship 6 months earlier in March 2018. And December 2018 rolls around, and Penn, the team in the Ivy League, which is where the Palestra is located on the University of Pennsylvania campus, is hosting Villanova. This is a Big Five game. Villanova is a suburb of Philly, but it's one of the Big Five. Sometimes they refer to it as the City Six, because you've got Drexel, you got Temple, you got LaSalle, and you got St. Joe. So those are the six. So here you've got Villanova, the Goliath, that's just won the national championship in March, April 2018, and they're the host team taking on Penn of the Ivy League at the Palestra. 99 times out of 100, who's going to win that game? Villanova. Last time the Ivy League won the national championship in college basketball or any major sport, it's been a while, right? Because the kids that go to the Ivy League, they're the ones that are going to be the lawyers and the judges and the doctors. Not all of them, but a lot of them, right? But you go to a Big Five game because the Palestra is so historic, and that's what makes Philly basketball, college basketball, so special. And you know where I'm going with this, baby, right? Villanova got upset by the Quakers of Penn, and the fans rushed the court, and it was awesome. It was a great game. Penn played the game of its life. Villanova played okay, but not well enough to even beat an Ivy League team, and that tells you something about the beauty of sports. Anybody can beat anybody at any time, any place, especially if one team is not playing to that caliber. Had Villanova been playing to that caliber level where they won the national championship, they would have beat Penn. But Penn was playing at that level that night, and Villanova, I don't think they took them for granted. Villanova just didn't play well. And Penn eked it out. The fans stormed the court. I'll never forget that. That was my favorite memory of sports here in the great state of Pennsylvania. There's many others I have, as you can imagine, been road tripping for 25 years, more than 25 years. But that was clearly my favorite. Historic venue, great city, Big Five rivalry, and a huge upset, which is what we love about sports. You go to a sporting event, you never know what's going to happen. Obviously, if you're a fan of your team and that's why you're there, you want them to win, but you also want to have a unique experience. Who scored the most points? Who made the big shot? Who made the big save? Whatever the sport is, right? So there you have it, folks. My first sports experience back in 1991. 19 years old at Elizabethtown College. My most recent, last night. I'll be 50 in a few weeks. I'm still out there road tripping, my friends, and my favorite memory a few years ago at the Palestra in Philadelphia. Hope you've enjoyed this video. Please take the $50 pledge if you've not done so already. For those of you who have, thank you so much. I look forward to meeting you in person. Again, some of you would like to do it via video or via the phone or email, that's fine. And again, for that $50 donation, I will help you plan your next sports road trip, or for a friend that you designate or a family member that you designate. Just donate $50 a day to OperationFirstResponse.org. Mr. Sports Travel signing off from the Keystone State, where, as they say, you've got a friend in Pennsylvania. And I've made a lot of friends here in the great state of Pennsylvania. It's great to be back here. Look forward to seeing some more sports on this road trip. Look forward to sharing with you my memories of the other great states in the United States of America on these videos that I've done. I've done many already. I'll do many moving forward. The goal is to do 50 plus the District of Columbia, and I look forward to sharing my experiences with you. For now, Mr. Sports Travel has to get back on the road because, of course, he's going to another sporting event. And until then, take care, bye-bye, and adios from Goodman Stadium in Lehigh University, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.